now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. A man was arrested and charged with allegedly trying to grape a sunbather in Central Park.
Tonight, a man who's accused of trying to rape and sexually assault a woman in Central Park is behind bars. Jermaine Longmire is being held without bail. He pled not guilty today to the charges. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles with details on how cops cracked the case.
Jermaine Longmire's DNA was discovered on the survivor's bikini bottom.
There are a number of investigative tools used by the NYPD that prosecutors say link Jermaine Longmire to an unhinged attack on a 21-year-old woman in Central Park 9 days ago. The 43-year-old now indicted on one felony count of attempted rape and one felony count of sex abuse. In court Wednesday afternoon, prosecutors say the victim had injuries all over her body.
She fought back, and she fought back hard. The survivor began to physically struggle with the perpetrator while screaming for help. It is believed that her actions caused the attacker to climb off of her and run away.
Police say in the manhunt in the hours right after the attack, they were able to identify Longmire in surveillance video from a nearby business.
This image was submitted to our facial recognition system, which produced a match.
That match to Longmire also turned up an open bench warrant for a groping incident that happened at the 103rd Street and Central Park station back in March, which they say was caught on surveillance video.
Armed with this information, members of the Fugitive Enforcement Unit located and apprehended Longmire for this open bench warrant on June 26th.
Also in court, defense attorneys for Longmire said that his bail has already been set at $7,500 for the March incident. And for the Central Park attempted rape, bail should only be set at $1 and asked for a supervised release at the homeless shelter where he lives. The judge said no and remanded Longmire without bail. In Lower Manhattan, Darla Miles, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Now, in this alleged incident that took place in Central Park last week, 43-year-old Jermaine Longmire allegedly came upon a 21-year-old woman who was sunbathing in Central Park in a bikini. And on seeing this 21-year-old woman who was sunbathing in Central Park alone, Jermaine Longmire allegedly then decided to expose his genitals to this woman. And as he exposed his genitals to this woman, he then looked to try to get on top of her in an attempt to sexually violate her. And as he was trying to sexually violate this woman against her will, the 21-year-old woman allegedly wound up fighting off Jermaine Longmire. And as she fought off this man who was participating in this sex crime, he wound up being forced to flee the scene. And the 21-year-old woman then contacted police. And after contacting police and them doing an investigation, they soon found that Jermaine Longmire was actually in custody in Rikers Island for another sexual assault that took place at a 103rd Street station in Manhattan, and was arrested for allegedly trying to grope a woman on that train by going up under her dress. Now, as the police then managed to find Jermaine Longmire by connecting video surveillance and facial recognition software, they were quickly able to identify him and charge him with the attempted grape on this woman, and then taking him into custody, then put him before a judge and filed charges against him. Now, the NYPD see this as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of the alleged actions of Jermaine Longmire, they definitely fit the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And when I look at Jermaine Longmire's alleged behavior, it definitely fits what I talk about in the chapter of The Man Crisis regarding the sexual deviancy of the beta male. And this sexual deviancy basically starts with a dysfunctional sexual education when these boys are raised in dysfunctional homes like single mother households. And because these boys basically learn a dysfunctional sexual education, they learn not to express themselves in a healthy sexual manner. No, what they do is learn how to explore sexual deviancy in a place I call the secret world. Now, the secret world is a place that beta males go to in order to express their natural masculinity and natural sexuality due to the sexual shame that these boys learn in dysfunctional households. And as they learn this sexual shame, they learn to take the things into the secret world. And in the secret world is where these individuals do not see people as people. No, they see people as objects, and they see them as objects in their fantasies to be participants in their fantasies. And instead of seeing a human being as someone who has rights and people that they need to respect, they believe that they can just go out here and do whatever they want to people because those people are not people in their eyes. No, they are just objects to be able for them to sate the power fantasies that these individuals have. Because what Jermaine Longmire was participating in, these sexual assaults on these women, this was not about pleasure as related to connecting and bonding with a woman. No, this was all about him looking to get power and control over a woman, power and control over a woman, mainly because he was feeling powerless in his life about being a homeless individual, I believe. And because he felt powerless about being homeless, what he wanted to do was go out here and take power by using his genitals and his hands as weapons. That's what these beta males want to do in these cases as related to these assaults on women. What they want to do is take power by going out here and controlling and abusing a woman's body. This is how they look to sate their feelings as related to feeling powerless, by looking to go out here and take away a woman's power and agency and look to try to break down and humiliate a woman. This is what this man was looking to do. No, this was not about a man looking to lust after a woman who was sunbathing in the park. No, that's not what this was about at all. No, this was a sexual deviant looking to try to find a victim to prey on, so that he could find a way to get a release as related to getting power, and looking to find someone to break down, because in his world he felt powerless. And what he wanted to do was, again, when he saw women, he would act on his impulses to again look to try to find this woman to break down. And he wanted to break down and humiliate this woman and take away her sense of emotional security, because when it comes to women and these types of males, they get pleasure from taking away a woman's sense of security by looking to humiliate and basically destroy their whole sense of mind, because these men, again, it's all about power for them, and it's all about looking to destroy that woman and destroy that woman's emotional state of security. That's why these men look to, as I see it, prey on women, because it's all about looking to, again, take away a woman's power, because they themselves are feeling powerless themselves. And they get power by taking away the woman's power. And as they look to take away the woman's power, they go from victim to victim. That's why this man was not satisfied with just one assault. No, he has a pattern of this kind of behavior, and has this pattern of behavior because he basically wants to keep finding people to, again, do harm to. This man is really, again, really depraved as I look at his whole pattern and record of behavior as presented by the NYPD as related to the series of arrests. And what's really troubling to me as this case was the low bail as related to one of the assaults that he had participated in. I mean, due to New York's dysfunctional bail reform policies, this guy only got $7,500 bail for the assault on the train that he actually got arrested for. But this man was a clear and present danger and should never have been given a low bail. No, this man needed to be put into custody with no bail at all, because it's clear from his past record he has a serious pattern of sexual predation. And with that pattern of sexual predation, this man should have never been let out of prison to be able to roam these streets, because anyone who, again, is out here like this and has a series of behaviors as related to sex crimes, this is someone who really needs to be monitored, because this person is, again, they escalate their behavior, and he was escalating his behavior from participating in assaults to looking to participate in a rape, which really shows, again, the clear and present pattern as related to him escalating his behavior. And with these individuals and their quest for power, from my years of research, what they look to do is eventually get to the point where they not only want to take away a woman's power as related to her agency and look to strip her of her dignity and break her down. What these men look to do eventually is to escalate their behavior to the point where they look to take away a woman's life. And that's why you have to take individuals like these beta males who participate in sex crimes very seriously, because their behavior does not correct itself. No, it doesn't correct itself, because these men look to escalate their behavior. And as they look to escalate their behavior becomes more and more violent. And that's what makes these men some of the most dangerous beta males to deal with, because these are men who are in, again, a very dangerous place, and you have to take them seriously. Now, this whole crime basically shocked many in New York, because it basically shattered the whole idea of safety and basically took us back to the times of the dark days of Central Park in the late 80s, with incidents like the Central Park jogger, which led to 4 teens winding up being charged with a crime they did not commit. Meanwhile, a sexual predator was allowed to continue being out here for many years, and that was really troubling in and of itself, that people got so caught up in race that they allowed a sexual predator to continue lurking out here. And in this case, it basically shattered people's idea of safety, because in the last 30 years, people thought Central Park was a safe place. People have been sunbathing in Central Park in bikinis for years. I mean, that's just a staple of New York life, and it's a real shock for many people to hear about this. But when I look at the whole state of the union, when it comes to these beta males have been, again, on a tear. And what's really troubling is that they have been participating in more deviant sex crimes, and we're starting to see an increase in frequency of the deviancy of their sex crimes, and the increase in frequency of this deviancy because these men have really learned a depraved sexual miseducation from content like pornography. And as they've been out here consuming pornography, they have been desensitized as related to this media being something that they would find to be pleasurable, and they look to get power by going out here and escalating their behavior into interacting with people. And as they look to interact with people, they're not looking to gain sexual pleasure. No, they're looking to get power, because they feel powerless about having control over their own sexuality. And that's what makes these men extremely dangerous individuals in this man crisis. That makes them extremely dangerous because these men are out here believing that they have a justification to take away a woman's power and her agency over her own body, and want to violate her body and break her down, and in extreme cases want to get pleasure from seeing this woman's life being lost. And what's troubling here is that nobody really is acknowledging the man crisis in this country and seeing how much worse it's getting, because it's getting a lot worse when we see again, 2 incidents in less than 2 weeks where we had the 13-year-old girl who was raped by a migrant who basically was so depraved that he video recorded the assault he perpetrated on this girl as he was looking to humiliate her. And then we get this individual who basically has been in and out of jail as related to participating in sex crimes. And what's even more disturbing than this is the prosecutor's office not taking this case very seriously, because again, $7,500 bail for a sexual assault is way too low. No, this man needed to get $100,000 bail because he is a threat to everyone, because as a predator, he's looking to prey on people and has a series of preying on people. And we really need, again, people to start taking this man crisis more seriously, as related to going out here and investing in young men and giving them a proper sexual education, teaching them about boundaries as related to men and women, teaching them how to respect the boundaries of other people, and also going out here and making sure that individuals like this are locked up, because individuals like this need to be locked up, because this is, again, a depraved individual who has a pattern that's related to participating in sex crimes, and this pattern makes him, again, dangerous to everyone, both men and women, because this man, again, did this flagrantly in open daylight on not only a train, but also did it in a Central Park, and again, shows no sense of boundaries, no respect for other people's personal space, no respect for other people at all, just a depraved individual who needs to be put away, and needs to be put away because he would, again, do harm to someone out here in these streets. And again, people in New York really need to start taking this whole situation with these beta males a lot more seriously, because again, with this increase in frequency in sex crimes, it's again a disturbing pattern with the man crisis that shows that these males don't understand how to respect boundaries, and the only way to deal with these individuals is to put them in a place where there are boundaries between society and them, such as the Rikers Island. And if this man is convicted, the prison of New York, where he will have to deal with the authority of the COs, and will also have to deal with the social pecking order of Bubba, Tiny, Roscoe, Big Dave, Melvin, and Mr. Sprinkles. And inside of that penitentiary, he will be taught to respect boundaries, as he's basically traded for Little Debbie snack cakes, ramen noodles, packets of Crystal Light lemonade, packets of Crystal Light tea, off-brand fruit punch, off-brand lemon lime drink, off-brand grape drink, off-brand orange drink, off-brand passion fruit drink, off-brand apple juice, off-brand Oreo cookies, off-brand duplex cookies, off-brand vanilla wafers, off-brand ginger snaps, off-brand sugar wafers, Hunt snack pack puddings, Kit Kat candy bars, prison chips, Fritos chips, Snyder's pretzels, packets of soy sauce, packets of sriracha sauce, packets of honey mustard, tuna, chicken, beef, and beef jerky. And as they're trading him for that beef jerky, they're going to be jerking him around and basically filling up the front side and the back side with summer sausage. And as they're filling up the front side and the back side with summer sausage, this is where this guy will learn how it feels to get his boundaries violated and feel the complete humiliation as Mr. Sprinkles comes in and finishes him off by spraying him with special sauce in the front side and the back side, and eventually winds up telling all the guys in cell block D to come over and check out his backside, looking like the inside of a Louisiana crunch cake. And that's where this guy will basically realize what it feels like to go out here and do the things that he did to his victims. And as he reaps what he sows, later than what he sows, greater than what he sows, he will regret what he ever did to all of those women he preyed on. If he is convicted, this is what will happen to this man. But the way we deal with these kinds of men is by going out and, again, giving our children a proper sexual education so that they can learn about how to respect people's boundaries, respect people as related to sex and sexuality, so that they won't go out into the world and enter the secret world. We have to teach children about sex and in the open so that they can understand about how to have a healthy sexual relationship and not be entering into the secret world, exploring things like pornography, and then taking a road into sexual deviancy. The way we stop boys from being raised to become monsters like this is by teaching them about healthy sexual relationships between men and women. And when we teach boys about healthy sexual relationships between men and women, this is what keeps those boys from becoming men in crisis. Now, if you want to learn more about what leads to an individual winding up becoming dysfunctional like this, and how to stop them from winding up on that road to dysfunction, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis at other online booksellers like Draft the Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos about men in crisis, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available for the first time in paperback. Stop Simping in the Workplace. Men, learn what you need to know in order to protect your job from workplace predators with Stop Simping in the Workplace. Available in paperback at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.